Hey YouTube, Patrick here. Too much CO2 or carbon dioxide is bad for you. And I want to know just how much CO2 there is in my own home. We exhale roughly 4% of this stuff constantly, so bad ventilation can cause some real headaches. I'm gonna build a simple CO2 sensor and I'm gonna hook that up to my home assistant automation system. So basically I need two things. A sensory module to measure the CO2 level, that's gonna be this SGP30 chip by Adafruit here. It also has a VOC sensor for measuring a bunch of organic compounds, basically molten stuff. And a microcontroller to actually read the data and send it to the home assistant. And I want to use a wired connection here instead of Wi-Fi and power it through the cable, so I'm gonna go with this Olimex ESP32 PoE ISO. So to get these guys talking, we just need to connect basically 4 wires. So let's take a look at the connection layout. So the chip has voltage in, we'll connect that to the 3.3 volt line. G&D of course goes to ground. The data moves through the I2C bus and we just need to connect the SCL and SDA connections to their corresponding pads. So on the Olimex board we can see GPIO pins 16 and 13 for clock and data. They're available on the cable connector, but since I can't be asked to build a fancy cable, I'm just going to use the same connections available on the right side of the board here. Nothing too fancy here, just strip the cables, use flux if you have some, and cut the ends so that the loose wires don't cause any shorts. The black bit is just a bit of cable insulation, so the jaws don't bite too hard into the board. And there we go, all done with the soldering. So the neat thing about Home Assistant is that we don't actually need to write any code in order to make the sensor work. We'll use the ESP Home plugin here to add the sensor and we can select our specific board from the drop-down menu, and now we can jump straight into the config to set up the sensor and networking. For the config I just need to grab a few lines from ESP Home's website. In the air quality section we can find the SGP30 sensor right here. So we'll just click that open and here we can see the example config. I'm gonna grab that, copy that and just throw it into the config file. There we go. Now let's also add the I2C bus with the correct pins, and I'm also gonna change the Wi-Fi to Ethernet since I'm using the Olimex board, like so. So obviously we're gonna need a case for this thing, and I designed this simple case in Fusion 360 and printed it out. If you want to use the same case, it's available on Thingiverse, links down in the description. The lid is a bit shitty though, since I didn't bother with a proper locking mechanism, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, here we go. Alright, so let's throw this thing together. The case is sort of a press-fit design, so they're like screws or anything, but it seems to keep all the components in place, so it should be fine. And here you can see the lid peeking out just a bit. But that's fine, will do for now. So let's go check out Home Assistant. Here's the mobile app, and on the top we can see that we are receiving readings from the bedroom sensor every second. Very nice. And if we scroll down to the bottom, past the 3D printer, we can also see that the home office sensor is sending readings. Oh yeah, actually bought parts for 2 if I mess one up, but seemingly both worked out. So yeah, that's about it. I don't make any money off YouTube, but if you want to like and or subscribe, it's always a nice ego boost. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.